I just found out that my girlfriend is still in love with her ex. Hi, welcome to my channel. Today, we got a story from r/relationship advice where OP found out that his girlfriend is still in love with her ex. Before we start, if you have any personal stories of relationship issues and problems that you and your significant other faced that you want to share, feel free to email them to me. Let's get started. Original story. My 27M girlfriend, 27F, and I have been together for nearly 7 years and now live together. She's had partners before me, and I had some small high school romances, but she's my first in a lot of ways. I adore her and especially love her smile and the way her eyes crinkle when she's happy. I think she's the best thing that ever happened to me. We both come from rather rough backgrounds, and when I met her I was instantly head over heels for her, chiefly for her sense of humor, intelligence, and compassion. It took longer, I think, for her to fall for me, not like I was trying very hard or going after her, because she'd gotten out of a bad breakup, but the more we saw each other and went places together, the closer we got. Between then and now we've gotten our degrees, jobs, and a place together, and I've been saving to buy her a ring to propose with. I'm so proud of both of us for the things we have achieved, and I know if it wasn't for her love and support I wouldn't have achieved much of anything. It's not a one-way street. I support her in everything she wants to do, and I tell her how I feel about her pretty regularly and give her gifts just because I love to see her happy. There's just always been this little bit of insecurity in me that I'm not good enough for her. Her breakup was so bad that she spent a long time in a dark pit of feelings, and it took her a lot of time and energy and effort to crawl out of it. From what she's told me, he wasn't abusive but was going through a really hard time and lashing out at her, especially because I guess she was an easy target, and it got to be enough that her mental health couldn't take anymore and she broke it off. When we became serious and official, she was really honest with me about her past relationships, and I also shared about mine, and I love that we were able to be open and honest with each other, not just about that, but about everything. One of the things she told me was that her first ex, not the abusive asshole guy, but another guy, let's call him Brian, was the first person she felt understood her, and that she found the love and sense of family she never got from her own and his, and that they broke up because she had picked up some bad behaviors and things from her messed up family, and that she didn't realize that she was driving him away till they broke up. She said when she realized what she'd done, and it prompted a lot of thinking in her about the person she was, and she wanted that to change, so she found a great therapist and since then has, from what she tells me, become an entirely different, healthier, and happier person. I believe her 100% and I'm so proud of her. On the advice of her therapist, she keeps a diary/journal, and she writes in it regularly. I respect her privacy and thoughts, so I've never read it even when she offered to let me a few times, and I don't know where she puts it, and I'm not interested to know. This has never been a problem for me, even when I'd have the odd insecure moment regarding her past exes, because I know it's my problem and that snooping through her things wouldn't solve anything. I come to her when I'm having some insecurity, or I keep it to myself and remind myself that I'm worthy and that she loves me, etc. And that keeps me right. The other day, though, was her BFF birthday, and we were getting ready to head out to the restaurant where the party was being held. I'd gotten dressed pretty quickly, and I was helping her with the zip of her dress in the bathroom while she applied her makeup when she asked me if I could grab the earrings she'd laid out on her desk for her, which is of course no problem. When I got to the desk, though, I saw that right next to the earrings she'd left her diary open, I guess cause she'd been writing in it before getting ready. Her desk/vanity table is in our room. I didn't mean to look, but as I grabbed her earrings my eyes fell on a recent passage where she said something like, I'm paraphrasing here, God, I still miss you, B. You showed me what it was like to have a family, and I ruined it in you, the first and only person I've ever loved. Now, I'm sitting here in a cold sweat, days after, while she's at work and wondering if she loves me at all, or if she's truly settling for me because her heart's still with Brian. I don't know what to do or who to tell, or even if I should. I want to forget what I read. How do I forget? What do I do? Update. First off, I wanted to thank everyone who commented for taking the time to talk to me or leave their advice. I read everything and thought about what people said. Okay, so, last night, when she got home from work, I was waiting on the couch. I say waiting, but I was just in my head, finalizing how I wanted to start a conversation and trying not to psych myself out. But I guess I still looked off because she started feeling my forehead again and getting very concerned about me, and it helped snap me out of it. I told her that I wasn't sick, but that something had been weighing on me and I needed to talk to her about it. She sat there and waited for me to start talking, which is something I do love about her. She never jumps to conclusions or starts overthinking like I tend to do. She just waits patiently, and I appreciate that about her. I told her that when she asked me to get her earrings the other day, that they'd been on her desk by the open diary and I'd accidentally skimmed over some of it and read that passage, that I was sorry I'd done it cause I hadn't meant to. But I read what she said about Brian, and it had been eating at me and magnified some of my insecurities, and I wasn't accusing her of anything and I wasn't mad at all. But I wanted to tell her about it because she was the only person who could give me answers. She started looking confused at some point and told me to wait there and went and got her diary from wherever it was and then sat back down next to me and flipped until she got to a page and asked me if that particular page is what I saw, and I looked and said yes, and I won't lie, seeing those words again made me feel queasy, so I only gave it a brief look to confirm. When I said yes, her face got all flushed and she looked so embarrassed and mortified, and I asked her if she'd left it out for me to read. Was there something she wanted to tell me that she felt she couldn't? She shook her head no and said that she'd been writing in it and lost track of time, so when I'd come in and told her we should start getting ready, she just got up and left it and didn't feel the need to hide anything from me, but that the pages must have settled on an earlier entry, and then she flipped to the most recent one, which I saw was dated for the 3rd. Then she flipped back to the passage and showed me the date, and it was from the beginning of the year. She said she and her therapist had been working on addressing the guilt she still held over some of her past actions, especially regarding Brian and their breakup, that her therapist had her write out statements of things she once felt for him at the time and then process through it as she thinks and feels now, as a healthier adult and not as the broken teen, her words, she once was. She suggested we read the whole entry together, and I accepted, so we read through it, and that's really what it was. That at the time of their breakup, she didn't think she could love someone else the way she loved him, that at that point in her life, he'd been the first and only person she'd ever loved, and she didn't want to let him go, which is why she tried for a long time to win him back. That she'd done a lot of personal growth since then and met me and built a life with me, and how happy she was. How much she loves me and knows what the word means now, and how sometimes she's still a little scared that she'll drive me away too. And some more stuff about me, but you guys don't need to hear that. I won't lie, by the end, we were both crying. After that, we cuddled on the couch for a while, and she suggested I come with her to her next therapy session cause she thinks it might do me some good, and I agreed. She's also told me where she keeps her diary, even though I said I didn't need to know, but she said she trusts me completely and I'm not the kind of person to look through her things out of jealousy or against her wishes, which is true, and that was the reason why she felt okay leaving the diary out, though she didn't count on the pages settling back and sending me spiraling. She said that how she used to feel for Brian was how a 15-16-year-old who never had anyone truly care about them felt, but that she's moved beyond that chapter of her life and grown from it, and I'm the only person she wants to spend the rest of her life with, and I believe her. She's eating dinner across from me as I type this. Things feel so much better, and I'm glad that the commenters who said she was still in love with him are wrong. I'm happy that we'd come out of this stronger. I'm happy I didn't do anything impulsive. I'm just happy. Thanks, Reddit. We're solid and stronger and going to therapy together, and I'm still getting her a ring.